it's gonna go down. We used to war with the police. We used to, we had, if you go to where I'm from, we have a big apartments on Foothill, and then we had some other apartments around the corner. The apartments on Foothill we use in the daytime to grind. The apartments on 25th we use as a nighttime spot. The late night spot was legendary over there. It was Rollin, super Rollin, you know what I'm saying? And when we get hit over here, we hit the back fences, and come up 25th, we have apartments over there, and we hide out over there. When we get hit over here, we hit the apartments, the back fence and the back roof, and we be over here. You know, so we had operation. We used to practice, escape routes, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Our escape route went from 25th all the way to Fruitvale. We had escape routes all the way that way. So it was really fun at that time as a youngster, man. You know, as a youngster, it was some fun stuff, and we knew the police personally, and we were brave young men. You know what I'm saying? We put our dukes up with them. This used to be an open field. We had this house too. So this used to be an open field, and it was hella overgrown weeds, and we'd hide big assault rifles and a lot of guns in there. And if somebody came up, it was very easy for us to run and go get one of them weapons and defend ourselves. I got shot right here. I got shot twice. I got shot in the shoulder, right in the middle of the street, right here. I was serving, because we used to run up in the middle of the street and serve. Yeah. That's why we start telling them to pull over and park. Because they'd hit your hand up and drive off, or try to rob you, and so we make them pull over and park and walk over here. So it was some Chinese actually, the Vietnamese, and my partner pushed me. He said, "Chris, he's got a gun." My partner pushed me out the way. They were trying to shoot me in my face, because we used to whoop the ass. We whooped a lot of people's ass too, so I don't know what we probably whooped one of their folks' ass. And that was because, if you didn't follow the rules, you get your ass whooped. I learned that from the OGs. So he pushed me out the way. They shot me in the shoulder. I was so motherfucking out of it. I went downstairs and was smoking before they told me to go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. It wasn't nothing. It's still in there. One time I was walking up here, and I had just got into a fight with one of my little partners, man. And I beat him up. I was kind of bullying people. And I get to this point, I got a pistol hidden over across the street at that other spot where the rat ate the dope. I'm going to get my pistol because I know they're going to come. And they hit the corner on me right here, ran up on me with AKs and bulletproof vests and ski masks. One came from right here, and one came running across the street. And I told you, big ass nigga, and pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. Still got this mark right here from the barbed wire down there that I hit the barbed wire fence, and just by the luck of God, the gun didn't go off, and I'm still here to tell that story.
Good evening. Topping Nightcast, the war against drugs in the Bay Area. At least one city is telling drug dealers and users, enough is enough. That city is Oakland. Oakland has a big drug problem, and police are fighting back by sweeping through neighborhoods and rooting out drug dealers.
When Jerry Brown became the mayor, they pretty much shut a lot of open-air drug markets down, using the riders, the different techniques that they use. The feds got involved, and the feds, I remember I was sitting on that corner, and hella rental cars came up the block, and I look in the rental cars, I'm talking about like 100 rental cars hitting this block, going up to my partners on 26 up there, and they hit. That was the feds, They had the tank and all that shit. And when that happened, we had to totally get out the whole town, So if you was they tore the town up. The first time I went to prison, actually, I got caught. I was in one of them houses in the daytime. I was in apartments, and I had been grinding all night. Rollin, I'll never forget that. I had a Tech 9 up in there, and I had a whole bunch of dope. I had a gun. It was some clothes. The dope was hidden in the clothes, because it's hella dirty clothes in the closet. But the gun was on top of the closet. So I went to sleep. My cousin and them, they was grinding in front of the building. Police ride up. They run up the stairs and hit the fence and go to the other apartments. Wow. And the police come up there, my door, they checking the doors. My door open. They come in, I'm asleep. They wake me up. It's an abandoned apartment though, so we used to take over the apartment. We used to take over all the apartments. Those two apartments, the owners moved. They didn't come around for about a year. So we had basically took over the apartments, and, you know, the police knew it, so they was trying to get us out of there. So, you know, I went to jail for that. I bailed out, and I got out and I served under, and that's what sent me to prison. Yeah, this is where I went to prison many times at, not just once, about 3-4 times. I get caught with a pistol, get caught serving the under. I got away a lot of times. I served under one time. I knew they was the police because I was drinking some Hennessy and I was full, but I knew I could get away, so I served the police on purpose. I served this motherfucker, man. They hit the back fences and they pulled my jacket off. I run, I jump, I fly. You know, you got back then, man, I got so many barbed wire, all kind of nicks and abrasions. So I do a Olympic somersault over the fucking fence, barbed wire. You don't care where you land, you better get your, cause they call it, nigga, we gonna beat your ass. They pull my coat off me. You know what I'm saying? They try to grab me, my coat come off. So I'm over the fence, right? Running the apartments, run up the stairs. We knew the managers we knew all the people in the community. Mm-hmm. So I run up the stairs, the manager of the apartments, he outside. I'm like, man, I'll give you $100. Let me come to your house. His door open, he let me come in. I lay behind the couch. I'm breathing hella hard. Police, they all look up. I hear him outside his door. You see him? And I ain't see nobody. But I'm laying down there. They looking for about 30 minutes. They leave. Man, I got the marked money. I send them to the store. Go get me a big thing of Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, you get away sometimes, but when they catch you, it's cookie dough. Yeah, so when I got caught that time, and I ended up going to prison. Going to jail, period. I never liked jail. That's why I changed my life. You know, so I going to jail, period. Santa Rita, man, was you know, Santa Rita back then. I went to back then when it was on Greystone. I went to the old Santa Rita first. You know what I'm saying? Old Santa Rita. When I first get on the yard at Little Greystone, because I didn't go to Big Greystone. That was for the shot callers and the BGF. I was 19 or something. So I go to old Santa Rita, right? And when I get there, they had them white outfits, right? Mm-hmm. I see a nigga coming towards us all red. And I'm like, why this nigga got on red? And then as you get closer, it's blood. They used to beat them. They used to beat your ass with the mop bringers, because when you get locked up in the unit, it's no police in there, you know? So it's just 32 inmates, blacks, whites, Mexicans over here. And you get locked up in there, you a snitch, or you on some other, you did something to somebody, they gonna mop bring. The mop bringer was famous, so I was kind of scared when I first went. I was scared as hell. Then them dope fiends that we was whooping, arms was this goddamn big. I was terrified, but you know I always had heart, so. When
they see them on the street, whether they, you know, are drug addicted or not, would you say this, that they can do that on the street, but that same dope fiend that you beat up or you might mess around or, you know, do whatever, if you see this dude in prison, he's a whole nother dude and he just might be a shot caller.
Right. Some of them was, you know what I'm saying? And they get them drugs out their system. They're not dealing with that weakness no more. They fresh again. And they'll put it on. They stab you, kill you, and rape you. You know what I'm saying? They had niggas in there. This one nigga, Mike, had a youngster up in there giving him pedicures and shit. I'm like, man, these niggas is so. But I had heart though, man. I went up in there. I started learning how to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because jailing is a skill, and niggas started.
Yeah, never lie.
I started doing my push-ups, you know, and that's when I really, because I used to be kind of, you know, I was always big, but I didn't have no definition. So once I started doing my push-ups, I started saying, oh, and then we had the bag. The water bag, man.
The notorious water bag. The water bag is where you get a couple of trash bags, you fill it up with water, and you take a t-shirt or a shirt and you tie into knots, and you make it into basically a big ass dumbbell, like a dumbbell. That's a water bag. That's the workout. That's the workout gear.
Yeah. So experience that and going to court. You know what I'm saying, and looking at how they was doing it. I was always a revolutionary-minded person, though. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, these motherfucking devils. And that's the reason why I didn't go into the legitimate world, because I was against racist America back then. I was like, I'm going to get, this is my philosophy when I was a young, ignorant youngster. We're going to get millionaires' money. We're going to buy hella weapons, and we're going to create our own society, and we're going to war against these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And little did I know that I was sadly misled. But, you know, but it was something that to this day that I'm glad I thought like that, because I still think in that kind of way, but it's more of we're going to help the community thrive like the Panthers, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. We're gonna try to help those the less fortunate, help grandma them, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but going to Santa Rita, then we moved from the old Santa Rita to the new Santa Rita, and that was high tech shit. So when we moved to the new Santa Rita, I ended up getting out, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, that's when I went to prison. That's when I caught that case. After that experience, that's when I went to prison. Going to prison, going to San Quentin, man, it was the scariest shit. Cause my uncles had did 7 to life in Quentin when it was Tamal, California, you know. Absolutely. And all my uncles, the uncles I looked up to, they all did 7 to life for murders in Tamal, California. And my grandma used to get those letters from Tamal, from Uncle Earl C, Uncle Jack, and Jack the Mac, and you know, so them niggas come home hella buff and dressed, you know, fresh. They, you know, not fresh clothes, but whatever they was wearing was pressed and clean. They had some structure about themselves. Yeah. So I'm like, this prison shit was crazy, you know. I don't want to go there. So, and then I heard about George Jackson. I always read about George Jackson, and you know they welded George Jackson's doors shut for like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Welded his doors shut, so he didn't even come out of his cell for 5 years. You know, so and Jonathan Jackson, I always looked at that like, man, you know, we're gonna avenge that shit. So,
for those that don't know the story about George Jackson and Jonathan Jackson, George Jackson was incarcerated. And George Jackson was going to court. Jonathan Jackson tried to free his brother, went into the Oakland Superior Court. He let off some shots.
Marin County.
Marin County. Yeah. He let off some shots. They ended up killing him, but he was trying to bring his brother up out of there.
Yeah, they duct taped the judge and the district attorneys, duct taped the shotgun to them and got them out of the courtroom in the van. They shot up the van, killed the judge, and everybody. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't gonna even do nothing.
Jonathan was 17 too.
17 years old.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jackson.
going to get his big